So this one is pretty short, actually. Amazon swords. Do you plant them? Do you not plant them? And I will make a plant update video too as to whether or not you can use live plants and have success. I've all along said that you can. It's an assumed risk. Ultimately, just to throw in this video as like a disclaimer type thing or whatever you want to call it, it is an assumed risk when introducing this stuff. But that being said, you're using Amazon swords. Do you plant them or not? Do you have to or not? The answer is I can barely get them to thrive or anything if they're planted to save my life, because I'm going to favor what the betas need, not what their substrate and all that stuff that they're going to need, and root tabs, none of that. So I can actually get them to reproduce, thrive, get huge, all this stuff, just by having them float on the surface of the water. Might sound stupid, and yes, you will experience, in one of the in the myth bust video that I did, you'll see that one huge one that was dying off. Yeah, guess what? When it actually came back from floating on the surface, it came back with a vengeance. And not only that, I tested it with dwarf ones. I split that one up. It definitely works. Let me just grab this really quick. See that? On the surface. See that? On the surface. It's just fine. So, I sold a bunch of them too, but yeah, that's all you need to do. Just float them, seriously. And one person, when I said this on Facebook, I had actually some people come out and say that they had just tried on a whim the same thing, and magically they got success too. So I actually really encourage this. One person even said that they were having problems finding plants that would provide good top coverage too, where they live, and so they tried it, and the Amazon sword worked as well. So I mean, it is a pretty viable option to think about, really. And not only that, but I have had really good success with them. Granted, you need to make sure that they're really clean and everything like that, but just the same, I'm actually not against Amazon swords for beta. They seem to be really good, actually. So I'm not going to stop working with them. They seem to be, they tolerate the salt and all the treatments that I use as well. They're actually really hardy, like really hard to kill. I've salted them with crazy amount, like you name it, and they live. They don't, worst you're going to see is a very temporary outer die off, which does not matter. I have even taken leaves. Oh, matter of fact, 1 minute. So I can take a leaf. Let me find them. And I'm just going to show you guys this because I think that it's pretty cool and also important, just to kind of see through. It is kind of hard for me to see them in here, but I have them floating around somewhere. There's also fish in here that well, that might be, they're stuck in a whole bunch of plants over here. Just the same though, I have chunks in here that are leaves that I took. Oh, here we go, perfect, here we go, I knew I'd find it. So I think you guys can see this in the thing. See this? It's still alive, doing fine. That's been pulled off for a while now. And I started doing that. I made a couple more of them, for example. But just to prove a point on how hard they are to kill. So even if you throw it in there, doing that, I haven't been able to get them to actually grow a whole new plant. But if there's even the smallest amount of root structure on there, you'll actually, on the surface of the water, grow an entirely new plant. So you could, in theory, even take one that is, reasonably mature and just start splitting it up. And so long as there's some of the root structure on there, you end up with a bunch of plants. That's it. Kind of cool. I love plants, but they are an assumed risk, and they have their pros, and they also still have their cons. So you just have to kind of understand that one and go with the kind of roll with the punches. But wanted to make this video, like I said, if you're having problems with Amazon swords, or you even just wanted to kind of use them alternatively, you're not using no root tabs, nothing. I use Corian Co-op fertilizer. I think this will be in focus. Yes. That's what I use. That's it. And I tested it with betas, so that's also something pretty cool. Personally, I use like 2 to 3 dose times in here. It doesn't actually raise the pH very much at all, but it certainly keeps the plants pretty decently happy. Mix that with the Seachem Equilibrium that I use for my water and stuff. But just the same, I love that stuff. I'm going to end this video though, because that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys on this. It was just to kind of document a cool way for the Amazon swords, and I had mentioned it like months ago before, and it was actually a success. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I actually hope to see more of you guys using the Amazon swords, because legitimately once they get going, they just keep going. So